So we are back. We are back. We would have. Oh, I ain't gonna be petty. I ain't gonna talk about him. Even though he did me dirty just now. I ain't gonna talk about him.
Who?
What? I ain't gonna talk about. We ain't gotta talk about it. But we could have been 30 minutes into this episode. But it's all good. It's all good. This episode is going to be a little bit interesting because we are finally, I think, well, I wouldn't say finally, but I kind of feel like we addressed the elephant a few times before, but right now,
that's all we're going to talk about.
Right now, ladies and gentlemen, I want to warn you, full disclaimer, full disclosure, if you have a weak stomach and your heart can't take any talks about your this here world that you live in, and you feel very, very confident in the life that you have on this planet, and you don't like anybody to attack what you believe in,
your bubble of beliefs,
in your square of comfortability, then I advise you to get off of this podcast.
If you can't handle the truth.
Now. If you can't handle the truth, take your headphones off. Ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk about conspiracies right after the intro.
You are now listening to the Dirty Trump Podcast, where the elephant is always welcome. Coming at you live from the Ascension Studios, all the way in Petersburg, Virginia. Here are your hosts, Marcus Martin and the renegade, Eric Mack.
Ooh, welcome back. It's your boy Mark and Mac here today to talk about conspiracy.
Welcome back. It's your boys Mark and Mac. That's why. Did you mean to rhyme that? Did you do that on purpose?
Let's get dangerous.
I don't think he did that on purpose. That was just
flowed off the tongue.
Very, very odd coincidence that was. So, oh yeah. You got a list? You got a list? Cause I got a list. Boy, my boy, right? All this, and boom, all that. Like, I got a list. We're gonna have to definitely split this into a few different episodes, sir.
We might have to. Great.
First, I want to give a special thank you and shout out to my girlfriend's sister, Kirsty. Ooh. Thank you for the topics that you sent us, and we are definitely going to go get in all in on these topics. I like some of those ones that you brought up to my attention, and definitely a few of those was on my list to be talked about tonight anyway. So we are going to get into that right now, sir. Do you like talking about conspiracies?
Yeah, I love it. I love a good conversation.
Yes.
Something that makes you think, something that just makes you think about what you've been told your entire life. So I thought it was weird because one of the topics that she gave me was that we live in a simulated world. It is not real. And it's crazy. It's crazy because art imitates life. I would go ahead and say that. And it's weird that somebody thought about a movie like The Matrix. Right.
And was able to put that into perspective. Like, if we lived in a world where we were being controlled by something externally, then that's exactly what it would look like. Mm-hmm. That's exactly either that or the little marble scene at the end of the Men in Black movie. Right. So it is weird because even like on I was playing SimCity one time, SimCity building on it's a cell phone game.
Right.
I love SimCity, but like every now and then you can see like the civilians, like their little word, whatever, their thought bubbles and stuff pop up, and you'll see them saying different things. And like I have this picture on my fan page of one of the Sims saying, "What if this is a simulated world, and there's somebody controlling us?" ... No, that's crazy. Never mind.
Wow.
And it's crazy. It's crazy. Like even if it's like ridiculous for us to be living in a simulated world, like you have to think like we are being controlled from the time we wake up to the time we go to sleep. Our ideas, our thoughts, our emotions are all being suggested by external factors on purpose.
Right.
So I thought it was kind of interesting that was one of the ones that she sent me. And I'm going to try to go over all the ones that she gave me, and I have a long list, and I think you have some too. Because we could be here all night.
I mean, we could.
We could very well be here all night, and I'm okay with that. But we're just going to end up breaking it down into a few different episodes. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is part 1 of Conspiracy Talk by DTP, Dirty Trunk Podcast.
Hey.
Yeah, and there's okay. That was a little late, but it's all good. It's all good. That was a little late. So I'm gonna let you go first, sir.
I gotta go for it. All right.
Because I talk a lot.
I mean, that's what you do. That's your stitch, your thing. But anyway, since we're just an elephant in the room, we're gonna go with the most known, the most notorious 9/11.
Oh God.
Did it happen?
Why we start on that one? Like that's like a whole episode on its own.
It is.
Oh man. What do you think?
I mean, I wasn't there.
Yeah, me neither.
And
how old were you when that happened?
Bruh, like 9/11.
That was 2000.
2011.
2001.
2001. Crap. What, my little brother was just being born. So
I was just about to turn 11 that year.
2001. Great day. 96.
So you were 6?
4. I was born in
4.
1996.
You were 4.
So 5.
You were 5. Yeah. Because that was after your birthday.
Right.
Yeah. Wow.
5 years old.
So I mean, you obviously didn't have much of an opinion about it when it first happened. So
nope.
Yeah, because you were. I think that's like before the age where you actually start developing your own opinions about anything. So that was kind of out of the question, obviously. But I can remember sitting in my in Miss Harvell's class in 5th grade in Westview Elementary in Petersburg, Virginia. Yeah, I just said all that. I can remember she got pulled to not to the office, but another teacher came and knocked on her door. Mm-hmm. And we had TVs in our classrooms, right. Which I don't know why we had TVs in the classroom. That was a little weird for elementary school to have TVs with no cable in the classrooms and no way to plug anything into them. Like even when we had to watch movies, we rolled AV cart into the classrooms. It was pretty pointless.
I think the TVs are like they were on like some type of special-ish or something, because like we had the same ones, and I think in like middle school, but somehow there were like special channels, or
like the school had their special channels and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think there's like
we had all that.
VHS thingy in the main office, and they just put the tape in there, and then
maybe they had that
on all the TVs in the school. I don't know. That's weird.
Maybe, I don't know, but we never had anything showing on TVs. But that's
brainwash.
That's beside the point.
The TVs were there to brainwash y'all. They were playing. They were on the entire time. Didn't know.
That's beside the point. I just remember another teacher, Mr. Jefferson, came to her door and like whispered something to her, and she just got like immediately upset, and she just turned on the TV, and it was on already when she turned the TV on. Like the smoke from the Twin Towers, everything was like on fire and all that, and like she was just like distraught, and nobody, like, we're kids. So we looking at her like, what's going on? What's happening? Like, why? What is this? What is this, a movie? Like, everybody's like confused. And like, I can just remember like it was just all this panic and confusion about that going on around that time. Was that me or you? I never turned my hands up. Yeah, it was just a lot of confusion and panic going on around that time, and just pandemonium. And it was just like I can remember my thoughts about it at that time. Like, I just thought it was kind of, dare I say, unnecessary. Because I was a child and probably didn't know any better. That's probably why I thought that. Like, I don't want to like decrease the severity of the situation at all, but it's like me in that position. I was like always. I grew up in the streets, and I always saw violence. So when I saw that, I was just like, well, how does this pertain to me?
That's kind of interesting, because like that's not the first time I've heard that story like that.
Mm-hmm.
It was like, all right, when 9/11 happened, I was in school, little kid, don't know what's going on, and somebody comes, notifies my teacher, and they either turn the TV on or they will in the TV, and it was on. It was just already happening.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of weird how everyone has that same.
Yeah, it's. I guess it's just like our generation. We were like too young to understand the severity of it when it happened. But like, you think about it, it's almost been 20 years. It'd be 20 years next year that happened, and like my entire life, that's been the focus of every September. And it's like, can we move past that yet? Because like when we were about to move past it, they built a memorial. Now that the memorial's gone, the memorial's not gone, but now that we're not talking about the memorial anymore, now we just straight talking about the celebration of the anniversary of 9/11. Like, it's like, why are we
have an anniversary of 9/11?
Yeah, we celebrate that like every year. Like, we have people just bring up all of the 9/11 victims or people that were there when it happened. They do their documentary every year. Like, oh yeah, I remember that year. Like, you told the same story last year. Let's let it die. And I mean, I'm not trying to be mean about it, but it's just something about dancing around the past that I just have a problem with, especially something so dark. Like, what are we doing to move? What have we done to move past that? Like, how are we healing? Have we healed from it? Because I mean, us as a country, we don't do good at that anyway. We like to bring all sorts of lights and lights, camera, action to the scene of the crime, dare I say, when it comes to tragedy. We love to talk about tragedy in this country, which is also another thing on the list, but it's
tragedy.
Yeah, it's all good. We capitalize on that. We don't talk about good news. We capitalize on tragedy though.
Yes.
So yes, but since then, the 20 years almost 19 years that have passed since the tragedy in 9/11 in Manhattan, New York, wherever the hell that is, Brooklyn, Manhattan, I think it's Manhattan. So much evidence has come out, and so many questions. There's a lot more questions than answers that have been brought upon when it comes to 9/11.
Right.
For instance, why did the government feel the need to lie?
Facts.
Like, why did you tell people that a plane landed in the Pentagon when a plane didn't land in the Pentagon? Then you didn't make sure that the news crew was on board with the story, because there was a guy out there looking for plane parts, and he got on national television to say there's not a fuselage, not a wing, not a tail section, and then you cut him off because he wasn't supposed to say that on live TV. Like, how does that work? And when stuff like that is brought upon, you have like the people out here, the anti-conspiracy people, who they advocate for the fact that the missing evidence is none of our business.
Facts.
Those things make no sense to me.
All smells fishy.
All smells fishy. Like I don't know.
A lot of questions, but no answers.
Mm-hmm. Like I don't know if you how much have you looked into that?
Looked into it, not much, but I've watched a couple of stuff about it. There's a lot of things like what you said. The plane not being there, the evidence that came from the videos and the scene itself. The most famous one. Oh, the jet fuel got so hot that it melted steel beams.
Jet fuel
doesn't melt steel beams.
Jet fuel doesn't melt steel. You literally carry it in steel. It's transported in a steel drum.
Amazing.
It's transported in a steel drum.
The way the explosion,
explosion, quote unquote
explosion, or the plane hitting the building, how that happened. It happened.
Did you see the video of that plane?
I don't know. Like I said, I seen like a clip from something, and it kind of like explained it like step by step. It
exploded before it hit the building.
Yeah, that too.
And then there was a black thing under the bottom of the plane. It was a commercial airliner. So why was there a missile at the bottom of this plane? Not only that, but like when asked about it, the people who made the plane,
right,
they didn't want to answer the question about this black box. But if you look at fighter jets, they have the same black box at the bottom. It's a missile. It's a remote missile. It's a remote missile.
Right.
Not a manned missile from the inside of the plane, a remote missile that could be used on the outside. So that leads the question, because I don't think I remember seeing any footage from the plane. So it leads the question, was there people really on this plane?
Right.
And then there was two of them, but and it's like you can easily just fake people being on the plane. You can hire actors or get on TV to say, I had family on that plane. You can fabricate a story. Hollywood does that all the time.
Right.
And it's like, you don't know people personally that was involved in this situation.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like when the whole Ebola thing came out and people was dying everywhere left and right from Ebola. I ain't never met nobody who was infected by Ebola.
Right.
But so many people died because of Ebola. That's not even on the list. I'm surprised I didn't write that down. But yeah, because that came through Dulles Airport.
Mm-hmm.
That's real close to here.
Yep.
That's real close.
And if anyone has played Plague,
yeah,
you know
airborne.
how it gets down.
And they said Ebola was airborne now. Airborne.
Right.
They said some 100,000 people go through Dulles Airport. That's right at Washington D.C. Like that would have got here real fast.
Yep.
Real fast.
That would have been World War Z epidemic.
Some random ass motherfucker, he was like, he leaving Dulles Airport to drive to North Carolina or something, would have stopped in Petersburg at a Wawa or some shit, sneezed on a hot dog, and all of a sudden everybody's sick. Everybody would have been dead.
Thanks.
So I mean, it's things like that, and like the whole beginning of that situation where the fire department, all of the fire department was out there already. Why did that happen? Somebody said, oh, yeah, they were doing something special. They were doing something in the city or whatever. But the fire department was there already, and people were recording them doing nothing. Like, I seen a video of a firefighter, like, literally walking through the street, and he's just, like, inspecting a manhole cover or some shit. And there's, like, a news crew with him. And he's talking about something random and just completely random. It's like an apocalyptic movie or some shit. Like they were watching this guy, all of a sudden a fucking plane just like crashing down into the city in the background, and they look up like, oh my God, what is that? Like it's so strange. Like how do you can't explain that. That's not a coincidence. That can't be explained.
Tragic.
And then they say, well, okay, this plane hit this building at the top.
First of all, the plane was on a regular flight,
yeah.
But the so-called hijackers of the plane hijacked the plane with what?
Knives.
It wasn't a knife. It was a box cutter. Now, there's how many people can a plane hold?
A couple hundred.
Couple hundred
maybe.
But two foreigners, one with said box cutter, hijacked
a whole plane.
There wasn't no bodybuilders, nobody in pretty good shape to rush the guy.
Box cutters.
Was this plane carrying the elderly?
No, but didn't they say that they had like bombs or something on it? Like they had like body like vests on it or something.
Like I haven't heard
bomb. Like I don't know. For some reason, I feel like I remember hearing something about a bomb being on the plane. But even if that was the case, like if I know I'm gonna die anyway, I'm not gonna let 1,000 or like 1,000,000 people die with me. Like if I'm gonna die anyway, like you gonna blow this fucking plane up in the sky. You're not going down there. That's just how I feel about it anyway. If I'm on the plane and something like that go down, I'm like, yo, look, for real. If it's the end, it's the end. This motherfucker about to crash this bitch into a building. We ain't about to survive that. Because even if we do survive the plane crash, we about to fall out this fucking building. And like the way that they said that this building went down, and I know we all talk about this. We all heard this story before. Like we all agree with it. Like even the anti-conspirators, they agree with this fact that building shouldn't have went down the way that it did from being hit at the top.
Mm-hmm.
At the top. That building went down demolition style. And not only that, like if you like look real hard on the internet for the building actually going down, you had to search hard as fuck for that video.
I can't even find anything now about that.
The news did not show that part. They made sure they showed the smoke, the fire, the people falling out. Like there was one video that I seen of the side of it. Like if you zoomed in on it real good, it was like a chute open and a dude just like slid out of it. It's like he reached the end of a water slide or something. He just in the seated position. I'm like, what is that? That don't look right. And then like his body is flying and falling all on the street and everything. And I'm like, but was it really? It's like, yeah, it's easy to say that it was, but was it really?
Right.
And then like you had like video footage from like civilians in the bottom of the building who literally heard bombs exploding. They heard explosions on the ground from the inside of the building. There's literally a video of somebody filming and the glass rattles out of the building before the plane even hit. You cannot fake this stuff. Like this is the information age. Like maybe back in the 1940s, you might have been able to get away with stuff like that because there was no way for people to backtrack the information that you putting out. But the news is out here with helicopters up here trying to mask the sound of bombs and shit because they know that there's live cameras out here. It's like this random ass helicopter flying around the building, getting this footage, and then there's a bomb just blows up. Poof. But you can't hear it on camera because this helicopter is in front of you. So you mask that part, but at the same time, you got people down here. You have real people who are in the vicinity watching this as it happened. They're watching the show that you're putting on. So I don't know. And I'm not going to say that real people weren't involved because, yeah, I feel like after watching shows like Scandal, you kind of have situations where real people do get involved with the bullshit that the government does.
Too involved. My question is just like, why? Why do all that? Like, what is your goal? What is your
scare tactics? Scare tactics. It's all about control. If I can scare you enough to push my agenda, then I have done my job. That's pretty much what it is. If I can scare you enough to push my agenda, then I've done my job. If I can influence you to move a certain way, because I feel like you're either getting too rowdy or you're all right. Just look at the American people like wild puppies or something.
Sheep, cattle.
Or whatever the case is. And for the case of dogs, the disciplined dogs, you will use something like a dog whistle or roll up newspaper, spray water bottle or something. I don't know. Dogs might actually like that, but whatever the case is, just think of us as that, and our owner is kind of doing things to put us in line. It's it's crazy. It is crazy, man. Like, and then you had the president, who everybody blamed the president for the situations, like the things that goes on in our society, but in real life, the president don't really have much to do with any of that because the president doesn't make the decisions.
President is really just an icon, a placeholder, a
y'all
avatar.
Y'all know who Jeff Dunham is? So for anybody who know who Jeff Dunham is, you know that Jeff Dunham is a ventriloquist. Very, very good ventriloquist. Like, yes, I love Jeff Dunham.
He is hilarious.
Me and Alyssa watch Jeff Dunham a lot. Like, we binge watch his stuff. But if you think about so Jeff Dunham can't obviously have a doll of any president because it's way too fucking real. The doll, in fact, if Jeff Dunham had a Donald Trump puppet,
oh man,
his Donald Trump puppet would be realer than the real thing. Like, seriously, like, everybody's upset with the fact that Donald Trump, he makes quote unquote makes the decisions that he makes as far as like towards our country. But does anybody remember the last speech that Barack Obama gave? His the last speech that the presidents make before they leave office or something. I can't think of the name of the speech. You political people who watch CNN, who binge watch CNN and C-SPAN and all that other shit, y'all kind of attack me on that one. But nobody remembers the speech where he was giving, and he literally had to look over his shoulder and ask, they really want me to say this? Like, you can read his lips. You can clearly read his lips as he says, they really want me to say this? And dude says, the dude in the suit, the Secret Service guy now, the one who's just supposed to be there to protect, he ain't supposed to have no opinion about nothing. But I guarantee you, you fuck up that speech, guess who be shanking your ass in the back room? I mean, for real, like, these are conversations that we can't even have in public, for real. Like, tread very lightly with this conversation, guys. Like, I did my research with most of these things. Like, I have this long list of topics that we could go into about conspiracies about our country. I mean, our company. Country. Yes. Because this is a business. It's a business, and people need to realize, like, dude, you're not free. You ain't got no freedom. You got liberty.
Everybody is a number. Everybody is a $sign.
Like, we were supposed to, like, slaves were freed.
When?
Yeah, exactly. When they signed the Emancipation Proclamation. Yeah, Emancipation Proclamation was supposed to be to free the slaves. No, it wasn't to free the slaves. It was to give us Social Security numbers. It was a tactic to put us in line with the rest of the white folks that was being taxed for everything else. Now, speaking of conspiracies, black folks.
Ooh.
Black folks.
About to hit home.
Like we said back in episode 1.
Who?
Like we said back in episode 1, get your ain't shit self out your ain't shit situation. please, let's stop fucking talking about slavery. Since we speaking on conspiracies, because black folks want to be the biggest conspirators talking about how the white man is holding us down. No, he is not. You are holding yourself back. Facts. Come on, bro. Like, it's 2020. This 2020. Like, let's stop talking about that. Like, if I hear another black person tell me that I'm, ooh.
Why you stop, fame?
Because I'm feeling it. I'm feeling it, bro. Like, for real. Like, you don't understand the conversation that people try to hit me with. Like, just think about who my girlfriend is.
Speak on it.
Like, the conversations that people try to hit me with because I'm a black man is so disrespectful, and I just want to destroy everybody who. I'm not even about to go in there because it's supposed to be about conspiracies, and I got this list. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a bit of an intermission for a second because there's something that I need to read over to make sure that I'm going into the right direction. Because I don't think I'm actually going to go back and find this message because I wrote her topics down with a bunch of other topics that I wrote down personally. So just to make sure I cover all of those bases, and I'll talk about my stuff on the next episode. So, I'm gonna go back to this message that I got.
That's a real long one right there.
Yeah, that was a whole list. So we are in a simulation, and that's why we have Mandela effects and deja vu. We talked about the Mandela effect with the whole Star Wars, the Luke, I am your father situation. And how everybody thought that that's what was said, but in reality, that was never said. So we have a few situations like that in real life where like there's a whole list of Mandela effects that you can find like compilations online.
That's crazy.
And
so my simulated real person, if the controllers are out there, can y'all like make sure my cord's on tight? Cause I be having deja vu out the ass, bro.
Hey, can y'all put in that cheat code so I can get that money? No, for real. Like
they gonna hit you like with the left, right.
Right, yeah. And I started doing that weird shit.
Bank account go gling.
What?
Tragic.
Oh man. Oh damn, like for real, like if y'all out there, y'all playing with that little marble game or whatever y'all doing, the Sims game. If you playing the Sims game, I like llamas. I like llamas.
What?
I don't know, man. Sims like llamas represent good fortune in all games. Like for some reason, like on the Sims game. Like you can get like it's a cheat code you put in. Like there's no cheat codes for the Sims game.
There's not.
Never been a cheat code for the Sims game. Only cheat code is for Spook, the magic llama. Spook is a yard ornament. You go talk to Spook, and Spook gives you ever play the Sims game?
Yes, but
you know how the conversations usually go. You get like options and shit to choose. Yeah, you go talk to Spook, and you get like a long list of options. Cheat codes like you get money, you get karma points and all that other shit like that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I like Spook.
That's interesting.
I want a llama. Alyssa told me I can have a llama.
There's a llama in Fortnite.
Fortnite, yeah.
Yeah.
For some reason, llamas represent good fortune. I don't understand that. I don't get it. So
remember that in next idea game thing we got.
And oh my God, this is something that I thought about too. So the wildfires in California are caused by lasers from space that the government puts out there for when there's a war. And they're testing the lasers on forested land. So I don't know about the lasers, but I do really think that something's fishy with those wildfires. Because I just find it kind of weird that like we put so much money into every fucking thing else, but we ain't got a solution to putting a fucking tree out when it sets on fire. But we can split an atom.
Oh yeah, we definitely can split atoms.
Yeah, we can smash atoms now.
We can put them in a freaking hyperbolical time chamber and
shoot
we
can
motherfuckers
we
at
can
each other, make them collide.
Look, we can even clone goats.
Not even that. I got one better for you. We can even make what is it?
We can grow beef. Not like for real. We can grow beef.
Tragic. Oh my god.
Like we use stem cells to grow meat.
Yes.
But we can't put a fucking tree out when it sets on fire. We don't have a plan for that. It happens every fucking year, but we act like we act like it's brand new every time it happens.
Hold on. We can genetically modify almost anything. So why haven't we made trees and plants fireproof?
I don't know. Like I kind of feel like that would be a little impossible.
Is it though?
I don't know. Like when you having droughts and stuff, I kind of feel like it's. I mean, yeah, you can like make a species of plant that hold water, like retain water a little bit better.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we could do that.
Yeah, you. I mean, I don't see why not.
Some type of plant with some
cactus and. Let's see. The thing is, like, our government isn't funding stuff like that. When stuff like that happens, when like research like that happens, it's usually people who want to change the world, and then they have to run their ideas by a higher power, and if the higher power doesn't approve of the idea, guess what happens?
Shout out to a young lady that was.
Shout out to Dr. Sebi, y'all.
There's young lady that was selling pics of herself to save Australia. Was it Australia?
Excuse me? Excuse me?
Yes, there was a young lady that collected enough money to go help out Australia by selling pictures of herself.
Like some NSFW? NSFW pictures?
I don't know. I ain't about the pictures though.
Okay. Yeah. So some she was halfway decent in the pictures is what you're saying?
Yeah.
It's just I mean halfway undecent is what I should say. Don't no, you ain't gotta do all that. You ain't do all that. We being watched. You ain't do all that. We being watched. You ain't gotta do all that. Plus our girls are listening, so that'd be a very, very bad idea. I believe
just found out. I think it's either Australia or the ring. No, it was probably Australia.
Yeah, it's Australia.
Was the most
there's a fire in Australia that's supposed to be. I mean, I'm hoping it's burning down that what is that, the 100 and some acres of no fly zone that the U.S. owns out there. I wonder what that's all about. Yeah.
I wonder if that's being burned as well.
Doubt it. They probably got guns pointed at that too. Supposedly, that's just about as locked down as Area 51.
Tragic.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. Like the amount of secrets. I get the secrets though, because I kind of feel like if most things were like put out there in plain text, like chaos would like befall us. Like really, like you talking about destruction of the whole order of government itself, because government is there to have order, like over a certain population or society itself. But if there's no order, like if you telling people something that they ain't ready to hear. It's like telling a Christian that God ain't real and showing them evidence. Like that shit that you were working for, that you said that thank God for. Like, nah, you put in like 80 hours a week to do that. Like that was you. I mean, but we gonna skip past that for a second. But yeah, like if people knew, if their belief was struck down, it would cause a very big commotion, like to the point where like national chaos would happen. Like in my opinion, like I feel like there would be no stopping the chaos. Like if there's ever a real instance where the purge would happen, I feel like it would be where it would be something like some shit where, okay, aliens exist. And aliens live among us. So let's go out and kill some motherfuckers because we don't know who the fuck is aliens. Ain't no point. The government been lying to us for ages now. Lord. But as long as society has been a thing, the government has been lying to us about aliens. So let's go out and kill everybody else. That shit can't be real. Oh, you telling me that my Bible ain't sacred anymore? Okay. I ain't got nothing to believe in no more. Fuck it. Pick up my gun. Go. The secrets are there for humanity's purpose. It's like I guess it would be like to protect us.
But I mean, that's kind of just thinking of worst case scenario.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could have your rational person out there that would be like, all right, how would I go about my day now?
Right. This next one, I thought was a bit interesting because I've talked to Alyssa about this. They're from Denver, and supposedly, I don't know if you heard about this, but the Denver airport is supposedly has a secret underground city underneath it.
What?
Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know the details, obviously, because I've never been there. I would like to go there to see it for myself, just to kind of get a feel of it. Like, apparently, the Denver airport is way too big for what's needed. And they feel like there's like an underground tunnel system, like a whole city structure built underneath the Denver airport. And the belief is that the Illuminati, quote unquote, the Illuminati, or I'm a substitute that word Illuminati, because like people, we blow that word way out of proportion.
We did.
We blew that way out of proportion. Let's not call them the Illuminati and call them what they are. The elites.
Okay. All right.
The elites. Because the Illuminati assumes that there's like a secret organization that if I had enough money, I can get into. Right. However, these people that we're talking about, they are the uppers of the upper echelons. You can't touch them because they run everything. Dang. We are talking like Mr. Burns. Please tell me you know about that. I ain't got to go into that, right? We're going to go into it anyway, buddy.
Tell me back.
Okay. So you watch The Simpsons, right?
Yes.
Mr. Burns is a real person. Nobody is allowed to talk about him. I mean, we good. By the time they hear this, we'll have way too much money for them to even touch us.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Burns is a real person. If you look up Jacob Rothschild. Rothschild. Mm-hmm. If you look up Jacob Rothschild, you'll see that he looks just like somebody, a very familiar face, who in turn, this familiar face is said that his family has been running things since the beginning of history itself. Rothschild. Now, his family is said to run the entire world, like the entire world, to the point where he owns all of the Federal Reserves.
What?
Yeah.
How?
His family owns all of the Federal Reserves.
What?
And look, get this. So just recently, in the last 20 years, the last 2 Federal Reserves that he got under his belt were in two countries that we recently went to war with.
And that's just some coincidence.
It's supposed to be a coincidence, right?
It's
supposed to be a coincidence, right? So, as of 2000, I think it's 2003. Whenever we start miraculously pulling troops out of Iraq and stuff, whenever the war was said to be finally done, because we went over there and capitalized on all of their oil. The country's main resource. The only thing that made them worth fighting.
Right.
All of a sudden, we hear that Jacob Rothschild now has rights to the Federal Reserve in that country. Then all of a sudden, they lift the ban on Cuba. It's weird, right?
That's crazy. We was actually talking about that at work. A couple of friends of mine that have a family in the military around the Vietnam War. Herb was telling me he had I think his cousin or father or something was in there, and
I have family that fought in Vietnam too.
Was it now? It was one of them. They were sent over there, and they were, about to, set up this one area, and before they could even set up, they were like, all right, we're done here. We're going over there, next country over, maybe Afghanistan or something like that. But they're like, but we flew all the way over here. Like, what are we doing over here?
Right.
And then the whole Osama bin Laden situation. They were like, they knew he was in Pakistan. He was in Pakistan the entire time. So they go to Pakistan to go find him or whatever, and they're like, he's not here. So let's look for him in those caves and everything else over there in Iran, Iraq, and all those other places. But then when
we're gonna have to cut this part out. I gotta pee.
Oh.
Hold that thought. Leave that in the video though. God damn it, you got the toilet all.
Sorry. Wait, you have another bathroom? You can take the stuff off. You have another bathroom?
Okay. I ain't know you had two bathrooms. And I'm back. And everybody who's watching is Jesus Christ. And everybody who's watching is going to see all of that. I'm leaving all of that in because this is the Dirty Trunk Podcast and this is real and live and uncut, but I am taking it out of the audio edit, obviously.
Bro,
and I wash my hands. You can come smell it if you want to.
You not cold, bro?
Huh?
You not cold?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I can't turn the heat on because yeah, I'm a little chilly.
That was on one. All right, okay.
Yeah. Whew. So where were we?
And we were talking about Osama bin Laden. How he was in Pakistan. We knew he was in Pakistan, so we sent our troops to Pakistan, and they got turned right the fuck around. They were like, oh, he's not here. We've been searching for him. No one looked. No one actually looked to see if he was in Pakistan. And we searched all through caves and all this other stuff, and the man was just chilling. Like when Obama finally got in the office, then we so-called killed him.
He won't cooperate.
But the man was at his crib, chilling.
He won't cooperate, and so they had to let him go.
The man was on dialysis.
Damn. Wow.
He rumor is, since we're talking about, rumor is that he wasn't going to live that long anyway. So he was going to die of natural causes. But I guess the Lord had other plans, gave him an extra couple of years, but the government won't have that. It was like, bro, we didn't know you was gonna live that long, so we
gotta go ahead and cut this off.
We need to snuff you out right now, bro.
So what do you think about celebrities causing distractions to take away from the real issues in our society? Do you think that's happening?
I mean, low key, that's what they're there for. That's actually why.
That's true.
We give them that fame. Well, some people give them.
We pay them so we don't have to deal with the real shit that's going on in the world. So we watch them to live through their lives that they portray.
Yes.
On screen. However, I don't think that the actors themselves, like in their, all right. So I'm assuming that when it came to this statement here, it was more towards the fact of what they do in their personal lives, opposed to their on screen lives. I do feel like there's some kind of financial benefit to a person doing things in public to kind of bring the heat onto themselves, to take the heat away from something else. Because we've seen it happen in plenty of times. Yeah, plenty of times in history.
Right.
Like we had like random shit like happen like that, like the little blue dress, the blue and gold dress situation. God. Like we had that. We had everything that fucking what's her name, Amanda Bynes did. Like her whole life was like that distraction. Gucci Mane.
Ugh.
Like I feel like these people, like there's just some random persons like, all right, so
they clone Gucci.
Gucci make another album. We need another distraction. Make another album. 50 Cent go start beefing with somebody to get black people off our trail for a minute.
Thanks.
Like I do feel like those things happen. Like it's like an ad deal.
Ooh.
It's like an ad deal. Like
right.
This company comes to you and says, okay, this big corporation, X corporation came to us and said that we need to take all of the focus off of us and put it on something else. So what are we going to do? We're going to go find some random ass rapper who's looking for a come up. We're going to give him a come up. And in the process, he's going to need to do something for us.
Facts.
Yeah. I do feel like those things happen. I feel like that's the reason why a whole topic of an Avril Lavigne clone and a Gucci Mane clone came out of the woodwork.
Right.
Those things they don't even make sense at all. Like a whole clone.
I mean, granted, well, for Gucci, they said he died in prison or something. They just got somebody to replace him or something like that. But I mean, anyone can.
They said that Avril Lavigne killed herself or some shit, and her body double was like filling in for her.
Yeah,
that's some creepy shit.
It is. That's
some creepy shit.
Weird as fuck. I don't even know how people like just
on news about creepy shit. It's fan fiction. On news about creepy shit. How does The Simpsons do what they do and have been doing it for years now?
Boy,
man, you remember I told you about the guy, Mr. Burns?
Boy,
is there a connection?
The person who made The Simpsons is from the future. It just he a time traveler. It has to be.
And he goes back periodically, and he has Google alerts on.
Bruh. If that's the case, that bruh. Or could be one person from like the super duper future that's like has everything written down, trying to nudge us here and there to avoid this like super disastrous, tragic, apocalyptic fuck up that we did.
Well, that obviously didn't work because they predicted 9/11.
This is a fact.
Back in, and they did that 10 years before it actually happened. Back in 1991. They did the Ebola.
Trump getting elected president.
Trump being elected. Black president. Yeah. Yeah. They
When are we gonna wake up and listen and actually look at The Simpsons, people? Come on now.
See, I really don't watch The Simpsons because it's not really that entertaining of a show to me. Like I don't even watch Family Guy anymore. Like that's like dumb comedy has. I think I've grown to not like it. I think I'm just getting old. I think I'm just go ahead and put that out there. I think I'm just getting old. But it's just like The Simpsons. Like I wish I could catch stuff like that on The Simpsons. And then at the same time, it's like I don't like spoilers. So I'll be watching it like, which part of this episode are they gonna predict in the future? Like, what the fuck is this all about? Like, what the fuck is? Yeah, like I don't like that. I don't like that. Like I'll just be thinking about that the entire episode. So we are coming to the end of this episode, and I'm going to ask this one final question, being that it is January the 21st, and I think the Super Bowl is right around the corner. I mean, I don't either. Right. But somebody asked me recently, and I thought this was really interesting. They asked me, did I believe that the football games were rigged?
I mean, to an extent, they can be.
My answer was, it's all sports entertainment. So,
it's all
sports entertainment. Granted, it ain't a wrestling ring, but it's sports entertainment. Maybe football used to be real back in the day, but when NFL grew to what the NFL is now, no more. Because now we don't focus on the game. We focus on how much money we can get paid off these players.
Right.
So, when timing and all those things become a factor, I feel like if they needed to, like say a game needed to be cut short, they got it. If a game needed to go into overtime because of a certain situation, they got it. If a certain person bet the wrong way and somebody need to make a move or somebody gonna die, they got it. And like I said, art imitates life. I'm gonna leave y'all with this. Art imitates life. And if I'm wrong, let's look back at the Super Bowl, the Buffalo Wild Wings Super Bowl commercial. Don't know what year it is, but think about this one. There was a commercial where they were sitting in the Buffalo Wild Wings and they were watching a basketball game, and for some reason the people that was in this Buffalo Wild Wings wanted the game to go on for longer.
I know what you're
so the bartender reaches under the bar and presses a button and sends the game into overtime.
There was a couple commercials like that, I believe. I think for Buffalo Wild Wings, because I remember one. It was a phone. He pulls out like the special phone, calls up the ref or whatever. The ref's like, "All right, I got it," and the ref does something to like
trips a player up or something. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. So art imitates life. Think about it. Some sick motherfucker actually sat down and wrote Saw. Every ghost story is based off a true story. Aliens live among us in Area 51. There is no other reason why I can't go within a mile of the gate in Area 51 without getting shot. From a mile away. A whole mile.
Like, we don't even have guns. Like, the military don't even use guns like that. Like, the snipers in the Army don't even use those kind of guns. But it is what it is. Oh, they got something that they need to protect. They got something that they trying to protect.
Don't worry about it. Give me a crop duster. Fly right over now.
Your crop duster won't make it. It's a no-fly zone. Your crop duster ain't gonna make it, bro. Your crop duster, like they got so advanced with it that your crop duster probably won't even burn down on the way to the ground. It will probably just disappear. Like, they will blow it up that bad. They will make sure that no survivors came off of that plane. Not even a fucking ant will survive off of that plane. That's how serious it is. But they won't tell us what's in it. They won't tell us what's in it. NASA out here doctoring photos of space to try to hide shit.
Mm-hmm. Damn.
You know what? No. Last thing here. You believe in aliens?
Little bit. Not a whole lot.
So, I don't believe that aliens are what we have been told that they are. Like, big heads, big black eyes, and tentacles and shit everywhere. Yeah. Like, I don't believe that. I believe they look like us. What I don't believe is that with every star in the sky being a version of our sun, what I don't believe is that there's not another planet out there with our type of life form on it.
Now, it's weird because you'll see it for like a glimpse second, and then you won't hear anything about it. There's 2 planets that I know that have that said they have similar atmosphere and life like ours. There was one called
Earth X or some shit they were calling it one time.
That might have been like the old one, but there's one with a K. I forget what the name was, but supposed to be about 2 or 3 times bigger than our Earth. Mm-hmm. Then there was one recently, but I didn't get to it in time before. I guess it.
Well, let me tell you about this one. So apparently, if you look at hieroglyphics in Egypt, if you look at old hieroglyphics in the old Mayan civilization, the Incans, the civilizations that all disappeared, they wrote lore of a human coming from the sky on a light. And he came from this planet that known as Zelantia. You know the North Star?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So ancient Egyptians and ancient Greece, they know that as Sirius.
A Sirius.
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 Yeah, like the Sirius star system, like SIR, not SER, like SIR, like Sirius Radio.
Right.
Yeah, it's called Sirius. Sirius A, Sirius B, and Sirius C are 3 stars. Sirius C is a dwarf star that's not lit. Sirius A is the brightest one. Sirius B is right behind it with Zelantia in the middle with atmosphere that's just like ours. But it's really hot because it's really close to the sun. Well, Sirius A. Well, it's in between 2 stars.
Right.
It's always lit.
Always lit.
Always lit. And it was said that there was life that came from this planet in all lore. And then that same lore was reimagined into what we call, I mean, I'm going to let you determine what other group of people said that a man came down from the sky on a light.
Interesting.
So we're going to leave that there because somebody listening to this just exploded by hearing that last statement. And I mean, it's gonna be all right. So it's just It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. That's all I'm saying. It's gonna be all right. We. So once again, thank you to all of the people who made the Dirty Trunk podcast possible.
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. Paris Jones, Mr. Robert Scheid, and Marcus for once again, thank you, sir, for these microphones. I couldn't do it without you, man, and thank you for going on this journey with me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is episode 10. Ooh, and this 10 this is episode 10.
Bro, we did 10 episodes.
We did 10 episodes. I mean, technically, we can be done with season 1 if we want to, and but we gonna go. Oh God, that was way louder than I wanted it to be.
That's the wrong one, bro. That's the
I don't have one without just the instrumental, so I'm just gonna play that one. Y'all gonna enjoy it. So it's been real. And I would love to continue this conversation, but we are going to have to close this out because we have gone for way longer than we should have. And this ain't the last of our conspiracies episode.
Conspiracy theories.
I done got my Shane Dawson on, and I'm out. So, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, be sure to listen to the Dirty Trunk Gaming, which is Marcus has boldly put to me that is the outro that is playing for that right now, and he's right, but I'm not prepared. It's all good. Be sure to hit us up in all our social media platforms. All of those will be linked in the description below, and be sure to check us out on YouTube at Mac of All Trades. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Aaron Mack,
and it's your boy Marcus Morton,
and we are out.
Deuce.